Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
After the Navy, I came home to marry my high school sweetheart and start a family. We've learned compromise is critical. Congress is no different. I'm Nick LaLota. Taking on extremists in both parties, I've worked across the aisle to lower costs, restore our assault deduction, secure the border, end cashless bail, and empower Suffolk cops. That's why I'm ranked one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. I'm Nick LaLota, and I approve this message. I'll keep fighting problems, not people, to make Long Island safe and affordable.
From St. John the Baptist High School, it is the final weekend of the regular season, and it is senior day here as well, as it's the Eagles of St. Peter's High School, looking like the number 4 seed, taking on defending champion St. John the Baptist Cougars in a AA1 showdown. Good afternoon, everyone. We welcome you inside our broadcast booth. Dylan Butler alongside Mike Spina as the Cougars just hit the field as part of their pre-game preparation and ceremony. And Mike, listen, final regular season game of the year. It's so important, right? You look at St. Peter's, they make the long trip from Staten Island. They want to keep their good mojo going, right? They've won a couple of big games. They won 3 games in a row after some changes, which we'll detail as we go throughout this broadcast. So big one to keep that going heading into the postseason with the likelihood that you'll play some home football games in the playoffs. And for St. John the Baptist, a team that they know this is their final game on this field. That brings a lot of emotions for a football player.
Sure it does, 'cause especially when it's senior day, you know that this is the last time you're going to put a helmet on this field. Some players won't ever put a helmet on again, so it's always that special feeling, and you're always going to remember that last home game or your last game of the year. And for St. Peter's, you know, they're rolling a little bit. They want to get, you know, momentum going into next week's playoffs, and, you know, it feels like it's September 2nd with this weather, not November 2nd. I mean, what a beautiful day. I mean, not really any wind, beautiful day. Everybody's in short sleeves. I mean, you know, you couldn't ask for a better Saturday afternoon.
Hey, St. Peter's already picked up a win if you think about it, because they didn't have to travel on Marathon Sunday, right? So they avoid that, even though no doubt there was some traffic there. But let's meet the teams here today, and we'll detail some of the key players. St. Peter's, they come in 7-2 on the season. They opened the season with that non-league game against Susan Wagner. Their big game, or their big win, if you will, was against Stepinac a few weeks ago. Overtime win. They followed it up with wins against Fordham Prep and Holy Trinity last week. So they're flying offensively. Defensively, they want to clean things up because they gave up 41 points to a struggling Holy Trinity team. 2 guys that they'll look to today. We'll mention their impact players now. On the offensive side, it doesn't get any better, Mike Spina, than Jeremiah Williams. He is the reigning AA1 Offensive Player of the Year and the odds-on favorite to do it again. Look at the numbers for him. And on the other side, does Cosmo D'Amelio's face not look like central casting for a high school middle linebacker?
You just put Penn State on today. He looks like one of your prototypical Penn State, 68 tackles. He's got 9 tackles for losses. I mean, that means it doesn't necessarily mean he's always on a blitz, but he's doing a real good job reading his keys. And, Jeremiah Williams, I mean, that's special. 210 carries, 1,286 yards, and 12 touchdowns. I mean, what's the goal of this game? What's the key is you're going to have to contain him. If he gets 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, guess what? That's a good job.
And Williams, he's not a bruising back, right? He doesn't look that part. It's amazing when you think of how much he's able to get out of his 5'6", 155-pound frame, but he does that week in and week out. St. John the Baptist.
This time we ask everybody to please rise.
We'll get to their players to watch when we return right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Of our national anthem.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
After the Navy, I came home to marry my high school sweetheart and start a family. We've learned compromise is critical. Congress is no different. I'm Nick Lalota. Taking on extremists in both parties, I've worked across the aisle to lower costs, restore our assault deduction, secure the border, end cashless bail, and empower Suffolk cops. That's why I'm ranked one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. I'm Nick Lalota, and I approve this message. I'll keep fighting problems, not people, to make Long Island safe and affordable.
It's time.
And welcome back to St. John the Baptist. Dylan Butler, Mike Spina, our entire Varsity Media crew here with you. St. John the Baptist, they come into this one 2-7, so the exact opposite record of a St. Peter's team. But you look beyond their record, even St. Peter's co-head coach Rob Sika said that they are that typical St. John the Baptist team. They're going to play tough. They're going to play physical. They're going to be in your face. They've got some size. They're just trying to put it together. Back-to-back losses for Baptist, but 2 guys that they're going to lean on here this afternoon. If they're able to get their final win here this year on this field, are a couple of seniors as well here on Senior Day. On the left side, Logan Asbell, son of the O-line coach Tim Asbell. So you know he's heard a lot from his dad throughout the year, but good size on him. Nobody has improved more on the offensive line than Logan Asbell has. And on the other side, it's Jungle Bonilla. Jovan Bonilla, part of a really terrific linebacking trio.
And it's funny, when you're a coach's son, you're coached harder. You're never going to get a break. You're going to get coached on the field. You're going to get coached at home. It's a pleasure to coach your son, but it's not an easy thing to do. And Logan has done a great job. He keeps improving, and he's anchoring that line. And, Jovan Bonilla, 61 tackles, 2 sacks, but he's also got 3 interceptions. And these are the keys for today's game if St. John's the Baptist wants to slow St. Peter's down.
Mike, let's look at the keys now as both teams, their captains are on the field. And St. Peter's, look, it's more of the same, right? Rinse and repeat. Let's get Jeremiah Williams going, running the football. And also, they want to get that swagger back defensively.
Yeah, they gave up 41 points last week. And to any defensive coordinator, any defensive coach, you sit there and you go back and you look at film and you break it down and you say, how can we get better? And today is one of those days where you're going to find out, did we get better? Did we have a good week of preparation? And for St. John's the Baptist, it's contained Williams. They need the explosive plays on offense, and it's also going to come down to some special teams. They had a block punt last week against them, and, it's a third of the game. It's 1/3 of the game, and, coaches put an emphasis on it. It's not just offense, defense, but the special teams plays a big role. So, that's one of their keys. Do not do any harm on special teams today.
Yeah, you mentioned it. A blocked punt returned for a touchdown, and St. Joe's C ruined homecoming here a week ago. So St. John the Baptist hoping to make sure a second Staten Island team doesn't get a win on that long trip back to the Forgotten Borough. St. John the Baptist, they won the opening kick, and they are electing to kick the ball.
Deferring to the second half, seems to be what most coaches are doing these days. Hopefully they get that 2-for-1 at the end of the first half and get the ball to start the second.
Deep for St. Peter's, Jeremiah Williams wearing number 6, and Justin Ramos, number 31.
Number 15, Wesley Osordo
Wesley
will kick off.
Osordo to kick off. He's been a revelation for the St. John the Baptist team this year. A soccer player who came out to kick. They've had a terrific tradition of kickers here at St. John the Baptist. And Osordo had to fill some big shoes. There's the opening kickoff. It's short and returnable. It'll be Ramos from the 20-yard line. Cuts it up towards his sideline, breaks a tackle. Ramos returned one for a touchdown a week ago, and this time he's pulled down inside the 40-yard line. So now coming out for St. Peter's.
Ramos with the return for St. Peter's. It'll be a 1st and 10 at
their
the 40-yard
QB. You see
line.
number 17 there, Ryan Valili, the senior. He's that prototypical QB mentality, right? He hasn't been the QB from day one. Transferred in as a senior. That's never easy, Mike, but has done a phenomenal job.
Yes, he has, and just the whole team kind of has embraced the transfer and him stepping up. But again, let's go back to that special teams kickoff return. I mean, you're going against the wind, and all of a sudden you're starting at the 40-yard line plus territory.
1st and 10.
Expect a lot of Jeremiah Williams. 1st and 10 from the Baptist 40-yard line. There's the handoff, and here is Williams. Gets past the 35, and he's pulled down
Number 6, Jeremiah
for a
Williams
first
with the
down
carry.
run at about the 24-yard line. Let's meet the starters offensively for St.
First and 10 at the
Peter's.
25-yard
Joining
line.
Valili and Williams, you've got Marco Aruda. Your wide receivers, Weinberg and Hoshilo, as well as Diokane. Up front, Kelty, Oliva, Charamella, Santiago, and Altoff. 1st and 10 for St. Peter's from the 24-yard line.
Oh, there's some miscommunication right there.
There's a penalty on the play.
Which gives us actually an opportunity to mention our officials. Ron Winchester wearing the white hat this afternoon.
It'll be a full start.
Full start
St. Peter's
against the
5-yard
Eagles.
penalty. It is now 1st down and 15.
That was just a little miscommunication between the quarterback and the center. No harm, no foul, because it was a ball that was on the ground. Could have been a fumble.
So 1st and 15 for St. Peter's. Under center, here's the handoff. Williams, good cut inside for Williams, and then pushes himself forward
Jeremiah Williams with the carry.
to about the original line of scrimmage. Let's meet the St. John the Baptist defense now. For the Cougars up front, Lightman, Maloney, and Montalban, joined by Grant. Your linebackers, Bowers, Skoda, and Bonilla. A secondary of Miller and Sandoval on the corners, and Rivera and Witt as your safeties.
And the key with this will be the two linebackers, Skoto and Bonilla.
Handoff, good looking tackle, flying in at about the 20-yard line.
Quick gain. Great tackle on
Give
defense
credit
by
there
number
to Zaire
52,
Grant.
Zaire Grant.
Did a great job just getting down the line. And if you ever want to watch a kid make a tackle, that's a beautiful hawk roll tackle. Head behind, down
All
low.
right, Cougar fans, let's hear you nice and loud.
So 3rd down for St. Peter's. Certainly would appear they're in 4-down territory here.
At 7.
As it's 3rd and 7 from the 21-yard line. Again, Williams is your lone back. There he goes, trying to cut it to the outside, and another quality tackle. Blake Sandoval steps up. So already, Mike, it's senior day. A couple seniors making some big plays.
Yeah, that's a great play on a 3rd down. They came out with a bunch formation, and if you watch, they ran a counter. And he pushes him inside, and again, going low, not giving Williams a chance to use his legs.
So this will be an attempted Vincenzo Coppola out there for a 39-yarder.
39-yard attempt.
The kick is up, and it is good.
And the kick is good.
How about that from Coppola?
3-0 St.
Perfect
Peter's.
for St. Peter's.
That's kind of a win-win for both teams. You know, with the field position that St. Peter's had starting at the 40-yard line, you know, they're in great field position. And, you know, give St. John's Baptist credit. That was a good defensive stand just to hold them to a field goal. But that's also a good field goal, 39-yard field goal to start the game. Not a lot of win, but it's enough to play a little bit of a part.
So
$3-0 is the start. You've seen the black pants there. That's Rob Sika, co-head coach here of St. Peter's. First year doing so. Monsignor Farrell, 2005 graduate, former All-City player there. Played in the 03 and 04 title games. He's co-head coach with Mark DiCristoforo, who was actually his DC back at Farrell. They will be hand in hand, those two. He has taken on more of a role as head coach. Sika has since DiCristoforo sadly has had to deal with the death of his daughter Rory in a house fire back on January 1st. Our thoughts and prayers continue to be with Mark and Megan and the DiCristoforo family. So St. Peter's, they are leading 3-0. And out comes the St. John the Baptist offense. Max Bowers leading the way out there. They call him Sunshine around here. And Max Bowers has been the leader of leaders of this group. There you see him, number 14, a guy who's had to, Mike, assume a lot of responsibilities. Dual threat on the offense. You see his numbers. Also having to be a leader as a middle linebacker as well.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you take a pounding at quarterback, but you take more of a pounding as a middle linebacker on defense. So that dual role is not easy, but he's doing a real nice job with it.
Bowers hands off. Lucas Skoda tries to cut it to the right side, pushes forward for a couple of yards on first down. Let's meet the starters offensively for the Cougars this afternoon. Joining Bowers and Skoda, you got the receivers of Mangan, Peters, Miller, and a really good tight end as well, and Lightman up front. Rodriguez, Asbel, Klein, Varno, Vitucci, and Cahill.
You know, and I just want to talk about Vitucci. He's 6 foot, 280 pounds. He was a returning starter. He's basically what the coach says. He's all everything.
3 yards on that first down. Bowers back to pass. Good protection. Comes this side, and that's caught. Braden Mangan makes the grab. First down for the Cougars.
That's a really nice ball right there on second down. You know, just a little corner route.
And there's a look again.
And give that offensive line some credit. That's really nice protection.
Mangan's 25th reception of the year. And for a team that needs some confidence and some swagger, big early play here. Skoda kicks it to the outside, accepts the hit, and goes forward. Quality run by Skoda. Let's meet the defense for St. Peter's coming out. Up front, you've got Iose Martinez, Badam. Look out for him, just a freshman. And Negrete, part of this 3-4. Lopez, D'Amelio, Neer, and Turnbull are your backers. Scalaro and Davis, your corners. And Ramos and D'Amato are your safeties.
Coach is very high on Badon. I me'an, he's a freshman, 6'2", 235, 45 tackles.
Faked handoff. And there goes Bowers, calling his own number. And Phil Alba has said part of the problem, and it's unfortunately for Baptist, a necessary problem, is as you mentioned earlier, right? Like the hits that Bowers takes defensively, it has kind of taken away a little bit of what he's able to do or his most effectiveness on the offensive side.
Yeah, well, like I said, you're taking a pounding, you know, taking on pulling guards, taking on tackles, trying to block down. It's not easy to play that linebacker spot.
And as such, we expect to see a good amount of Moscott, QB2 today for St. John the Baptist. 3rd and 1 for the Cougars from midfield. And as he does so often, Sunshine pushes himself forward.
The quarterback keep. Gain of 3 yards. It's a Cougars.
First down for the Cougars.
First down and 10.
And that's been so often, Mike, the play call. That was 3rd and 1, but even if it's 3rd and 5, you could see Bowers, 6'3", 195 from nearby Brightwaters, churning those legs and pushing forward for the first down.
Well, you also, St. Peter's is playing an odd front. They only have a 5-man box, and anytime you see a 5-man box, you should be running the ball. It's, they're overplaying the outside a little bit.
There's Mangan, gets a block from Miller, cuts it inside. Quality play and first down. And Mike, that's one of the differences between these two teams. Listen, Jeremiah Williams, probably the best player in the league, right?
Absolutely.
But Baptist is more multiple in what they can do offensively.
They are. They're running a couple different offensive formations that come out in shotgun. They go under the center. Give a little credit right there. That was a great block by Jaden Miller. Just on that little bubble screen to the receiver, to Mangan, and you need your receivers to block if you're going to be able to throw the ball effectively.
2nd and 4. In motion was Brendan Raber. Here comes Skoda. So physical as that linebacker running the football, and he gets the first down for the Cougars.
Cougars, 1st and 10 at the 29.
Yeah, they got nice momentum going right now. Probably going to pick up the tempo a little bit. St. Peter's is going to have to make a little bit of an adjustment with their reads. They're playing, like I said, an odd front. They're playing basically, 5 men in the box with their 2 outside hangers, their 2 outside linebackers. Somebody's going to have to step up into the box and make a play. You're putting a lot of pressure on a freshman. I know he's good, but he's still only a freshman.
1st and 10 from the 29-yard line for St. John the Baptist. Handoff, and you want to talk about freshmen. Here's a good-looking one for the Cougars. Jamad Jackson, the freshman from Amityville. Phil Alba, their head coach, calls him lightning in a bottle.
Gain of 3 seconds.
He actually said he was the best freshman he's ever coached. He's got 23 carries already this year for 156 yards. He's scored a couple touchdowns, and he's got 11 receptions. So, he's obviously a big part of their offensive game plan.
2nd and 7. For St. John the Baptist. They've done such a good job throughout the year of getting toward the red zone, but it's been a struggle inside of the red zone.
Short gain on the play for Jamad Jackson.
But right now they're just running power football. They're running zone, counter, power reads, and they're doing a good job on their doubles. And like I said, the linebackers for St. Peter's are going to have to step up, and their safeties are going to have to start filling some lanes. Otherwise, they're going to keep going right down the field.
3rd and 3 for the Cougars. Jackson to Bowers' right hip. Twin receivers at the top of your screen. Some movement. Bowers checks the wristbands. And we have a timeout for St. John the Baptist.
Their first of the half.
But they saw something on the defense that they didn't like for the play that was called. They tried to draw him off sides, and then it didn't work, so time was running out. So that's actually a real good timeout because you're in a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 situation. You don't want to take a delay game and make it 3rd and long.
There you see the head coach of the Cougars, Phil Alba, 6th season out of Valley Stream Central, class of 1984, 13th year overall in the program. Also their defensive coordinator, son James. We saw him earlier before the start of the game. He's the OC, a guy who also was part of the staffs of a pair of former head coaches here, and Ralph Carasillo and Keith Schweers as well.
It's a family affair.
It is a family affair. And as such, you get that banter, right, about the offense and about the defense.
I'm sure those are great conversations on and off the field.
Yes. So 3rd and 3 for the Cougars.
3rd and 3 at the 22-yard line.
On their last 3rd down conversion, it was Bowers taking it himself. He does it again, up the middle. Turns.
Maxwell Bowers
And he got enough. Another first down for Bowers.
Cougars, 1st and 10.
Again, why I like that timeout was because they saw something that they didn't like. So now they changed the formation. And that's just a straight ISO play out of the shotgun formation. And give the big men credit up front. Asbel, Rodriguez, Varnot, Vitucci, just pushing the defensive line back. I mean, running their doubles, doubling the nose, getting to the backers. Real nice 3rd down play.
I think a quality block as well by this man, Skoda. And they'll say that he went down, Bowers, when he fielded that low snap, went on his knee, and that killed the play there. So it'll be a loss.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. Low snap. He wants to make sure he secures the ball. Great job by one of the officials, Jimmy Herbert, for seeing that on the side. One of my former Nassau County officials that used to be doing my Floral Park games.
Yeah, he is the line judge. You've got Chris Hart as the umpire, Jimmy Graham, your linesman. Dan Coletti is the back judge. And the legendary Pat Wren is up here in the booth with us. See Brady Lightman, some confusion again. Did they have to burn another one? No, this is going to be a delay of game against the Cougars.
Against St. John the Baptist.
See, this goes along with what you said. They have no problem getting into the red zone, and then they just self-destruct. You know, it starts with a bad snap. Now you take a delay of game. They even had to call a timeout when they saw something they didn't like. But, you know, they're hurting themselves. They're shooting themselves in the foot. So you go from 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line going in. Now you're looking at 2nd and almost 20.
Yeah, the first down marker is down at like the 8-yard line. So you have trips right now for the Cougars. It's Miller as the lone receiver at the bottom of your screen. Skoda to Bowers' left hip and another flag. Let's see what Ron Winchester has here.
This could be another delay of game. Or movement somewhere.
They will back up the Cougars more.
Delay game penalty.
My goodness.
Another delay game.
Penalty. It stays 2nd down.
Sometimes you almost try to be too perfect getting the right play called. You know, you look at your defense. You have coaches up here in the booth that are looking at the defense.
So it's 2nd and I think all of West Islip now. Hand off to Skoda, bounces to the outside. Thought like he might have been able to get by that initial tackle. That was Brody Turnbull, number 27. And even though Turnbull doesn't get the tackle, he stopped the momentum, at least for Skoda, to allow his boys to come in.
He did his job. His job was to play outside in to make him turn in, and that's what he did. And then all of a sudden you saw 4 or 5 yellow hats, or gold hats, whatever you want to call them, flying to the ball. That's a great pursuit job by the St. Peter's defense.
So all that momentum you had going for you for St. John the Baptist, now it's a 3rd and 25. Bowers over the middle. That is incomplete. In the vicinity was Mangan and Peters.
Not a lot of play calls you can dial up at 3rd and 25. Now, this is an interesting decision because you're at the 32-yard line. You're at 4th and 25. You know, you feel like, do you really want to punt the ball where you might only gain 12 yards if you punt it, or do you run the ball and just try to play the field position game? That's why that was a very important play. You know, if you pick up 5, 10, maybe even 15 yards, not going for the home run, then you give yourself a manageable 4th down play. This, to me, is still a very hard play to call, to dial up. What are you going to dial up?
You got trips left now for the Cougars. Another flag.
Yeah, it looks like illegal motion. One of the linemen looked like they moved.
You're almost getting into punting territory now, and I think they will. I think James Alba's like, I've seen enough. Come to the sideline, let's regroup, and now let's play the field position game.
Exactly, and you basically turn to every single one of your offensive players and say, all right, take a deep breath, relax, let's press the reset button, and let's put some emphasis on our defense right now. Our defense needs to come up.
And this is now where the special teams come in, and you heard Phil Alba say, do no harm. They had a blocked punt, returned for a touchdown. Here's Osordo, and I would have thought he would have punted it the other way. He punted it in Williams' direction, but it was not returnable, and a flag here on specials. Looks like this is going to go against Lucas Skoda, a personal foul. So you do your job in specials, right? You get the ball. Looks like it's on the 12. But now you're going to have a plus 15 into that.
Yeah, they're going to call a personal foul. I don't know if it's a defenseless player, unsportsmanlike type of play, because it was way away from where the ball was. The ball was on the St. Peter's sideline. This was towards their sideline or on the hash. And you saw the officials pointing where the ball was, that there's no reason for that. Now, he's not blocking. Yeah, it looks like an unsportsmanlike call.
And Phil Alba arguing the case, but... And actually, are they going to march it off now? And that's one of the things, too, that, in our conversation with Phil Alba, said we've kind of become known as like the Raiders of this league. And sometimes reputation comes into play. They're known as a team that's very aggressive and very physical. And even Rob Sika, the St. Peter's co-head coach, said last year in their playoff game, last meeting between the two of them, he said they physically beat us up.
Yeah, they play on the edge. You called it. When they play like the Raiders, they play on the edge. They push the button, and if they get away with it, they're going to intimidate you and they're going to beat you up. But if they start getting called for it, now that takes a little bit of the aggressiveness away.
Number 6, Jeremiah.
So Williams with the carry, Skoda on the tackle.
That's just a little toss sweep to the left side. And Skoda does a nice job running it down. But again, you go 6, 6, 6, move the chains, move the chains, move the chains, move the chains. Eventually that's going to be, 6 points on the scoreboard, another 6 points.
Williams all 5'6", 155 of him. The lone player in the backfield as Balili under center. There's the toss. Williams cuts it inside. He's got some open room, and he's pulled down at midfield by Bonilla.
And a late flag coming down.
I wonder if that's a face mask on the tackle. Let's see if we can pull it up on our replay.
Well, this is an interesting call. I didn't see where the flag was.
Here you see the replay.
Personal foul. Now I wonder who it is on. It's on
right there.
No, they call no. That's on Skoda.
I thought it was the face.
No, they called personal foul. So on Skoda, if they would have called that on Sportsman, that would have been the second one. He could have been ejected.
So
he's playing right now with almost too much emotion.
So St. Peter's, the last thing you want to do is give them any additional yards. And they've given them now 30 yards on the last couple of plays. Here's Williams. Takes a bounce. Williams to the outside. Still on his feet. Williams cuts inside, and he's finally pulled down.
That's just great vision. And it's funny, if you look at the defense for St. John's Baptist, they got 4 hands on the turf. We call it in the dirt, all right, where St. Peter's has 3.
Well, that'll be the final play of the first quarter, and this is some of the brilliance of Jeremiah Williams.
Just, you said he's not going to run you over, but the way his vision is, how he jump cuts.
St. John the Baptist and St. Peter's second quarter when we resume on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Going, Israel Bonnie Kunda, running back for the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
After the Navy, I came home to marry my high school sweetheart and start a family. We've learned compromise is critical. Congress is no different. I'm Nick Lalota. Taking on extremists in both parties, I've worked across the aisle to lower costs, restore our assault deduction, secure the border, end cashless bail, and empower Suffolk cops. That's why I'm ranked one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. I'm Nick LaLota, and I approve this message. I'll keep fighting problems, not people, to make Long Island safe and affordable.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Back here at St. John the Baptist, start of the second quarter. Dylan Butler, Mike Spina. Our entire Varsity Media crew. Jeremiah Williams has gotten the Eagles into the red zone. 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. There's the handoff. Williams, the cut inside, absorbs the hit, and a flag again. He's taken down at the 1 by Bonilla.
Yeah, this could be a hold on the offensive line.
Let's see what Ron Winchester has. He's been busy in the early goings of this one, and it is offensive holding.
Hold offense.
I like what St. Peter's is doing on offense. They're bunching them up in tight, but they're still trying to run the ball outside. So they're getting all the St. John's the Baptist defenders inside the box, and then they're letting Williams pick and choose his hole.
Hey, is Rob Sika watching us on Varsity Media? We appreciate it. No, we're just kidding, of course.
That's the
Rob,
technology that they've used now these days.
Yes.
We have the iPads on the sideline all the time, and everybody's looking at the previous play and the next play.
Rob, Rob, part of what is New York's strongest, right? Department of Sanitation. And has been a coach in this league for 16 years. He's been an assistant at Monsignor Farrell a couple of times, now at St. Peter's as well. Handoff again, Williams. Another cut. And he's taken down, looks like at about the 7.
Again, bunch formation to the right side. Everybody's in tight. They overplay the bunch. So what they do, they run counter the other way. So again, they're looking at numbers. They're looking at where their numbers are. If the numbers are inside, they're going to go outside. If the numbers are outside, they're going to come inside. I'll tell you, St. John's the Baptist is set up for a play action right here. So now they just run the bunch the other way. There's definitely a play action in their playbook.
Oh, this was a toss left. Williams, he's hit hard, pushes forward, and he's down at about the 1. And Sika said of Williams, he is every coach's favorite player they've ever coached. And it's unanimous across the board. Just one, because of what he brings to practice every day, right? He's fun to be around. They call him a jokester, right? And that's during the week. On the weekend, you see the intensity he brings.
Oh, he definitely brings the intensity. He's going after it. You know, he knows what this means to him.
3rd and goal. Williams tripped on the play. And short. And a late flag as well.
There are penalties on the play.
This is going to be unsportsmanlike or a personal foul on somebody.
You can see the reaction from Fred Altoff, the sophomore right tackle for St. Peter's. He hit the ground late.
And it's going to be on St. John's the Baptist, which should give them an automatic first down.
Let's check on Winchester getting the explanation.
The game has been a little chippy. You see a lot of talking after the play. You see a lot of players trying to pull other players off. Some of the seniors are trying to show their leadership. But right now...
so it's offsetting.
It's offsetting.
So that just makes it a 4th down.
Correct, offset.
We will replay 3rd down.
And Phil Alba...
Should be a 4th down because it's dead ball.
And I think that's probably right now what Phil Alba's doing. He's out on like the 10-yard line, and Ron Winchester is telling him, get back to your bench.
Well, he's waiting for the same explanation that we're waiting for. If it's during the play, it's offsetting, then it's third down. But if he's calling it dead ball, it should be a fourth down. And it looks like they're going to stay with third.
Yeah, the sticks on the far side still have third down on it.
So then the play should go back to the original line of scrimmage, not where he tripped.
Spoken like a true coach.
I've coached a couple games in my career.
Yes, you have. Although Winchester, I think just there, right? Didn't he put the fist up for fourth down? And now fourth is on the sticks on the far side.
Fourth down and goal.
So here we go.
Which is the right call.
Yes.
Noise for Cougar defense.
4th and goal for St. Peter's. There's been exclusivity to this point, where number 6 has carried the football.
Still like play action.
Here's Williams, cuts it inside, touchdown, St. Peter's.
Jeremiah Williams with a 1-yard touchdown run for St. Peter's. The score is now 9-0.
So Williams gets in on 4th and goal. He extends the Eagles' lead.
And give that offensive line credit. Kelty, Olivia, Dante Charlamella, Santiago, and Altoff.
Coppola back out now for the PAT. Logan Kelty is your long snapper. Marco Arruda to hold. Coppola, we saw earlier, kick a 39-yard field goal. This just a chip shot for Coppola. He gets it, and he extends the lead now to 10-0 for the visitors from Staten Island. Still perfect on the year on PATs. And a look, Mike, now at a little bit of what's at stake here in Double A1 this year. We pull up the standings, and you can see the records are league records, and to the right are the PowerPoints, which have just been released before this final week of the regular season.
Sure, and if you read the PowerPoints and knowing how the PowerPoints work, St. Peter's with a win probably is still locked in to the 4 spot. So this is really more of a game to get ready for the playoffs. You know, I mean, a loss could hurt them a little bit depending on who Ford and Prep is playing. But St. John's the Baptist, you know, if they could bounce up to a 5 or a 6, you know, with a win against a quality opponent, you know, that would help them.
A year ago, it was more Catholic and St. John the Baptist in the AA1 final. Cougars winning that one. And Alba has part of the discussion with his guys throughout the year is to put that behind them last year. Just because you win in one year, when there's adversity, don't think back to last year and say, hey, we won it last year. This year is this year, and last year is in the past. And it's been part of the conversation as that one, a bit of a ground ball, fielded at the 30. So the Cougars will come out from their own 35-yard line.
You know, and every year's a new year, whether you have guys back or you have new guys. I mean, some teams just reload and some rebuild, you know, but when you have players that are coming back with experience, those have to be the leaders that say, hey, guys, what we did last year was special, and we won a championship, but, you know, nobody's going to sit there and be scared of us. We're going to have to work every day, and you know that work starts in the summer.
And because of the success last year and because of the players who are coming back, now the schedule becomes more difficult, and they've played AAA teams. We'll get to that in a moment as Bowers moves Skoda, and this will be an illegal motion against Baptist, I believe. Let's take a look.
Looks like on the right guard, yes.
But they lost to Chaminade. They lost to Iona Prep. They lost to St. Anthony's. These are AAA teams that are competing for the Big Boy Championship.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you're not just playing AAA teams.
Yeah.
Right. You're playing the top of the triple.
Iona's the favorite. St. Anthony's is like 2 or 3.
And Chaminade's right there as well.
And they beat St. Anthony's.
And they beat St. Anthony's, yes.
So, St. Peter's in a similar boat as well. And that's one of the reasons why Rob Sika, the St. Peter's coach, said, like, we don't look at the record. Look out. Bring in the pain is Mario Vizone.
Yeah, that's just an outside blitz. Came untouched. When you run an empty set, when you have no protection for the quarterback in the backfield, you start bringing more than they can block. You got to get the ball out of your hands real quick. And obviously, the patterns were just too deep and too long for that to happen.
If not for Turnbull and Lopez, those outside linebackers, Vizone would be starting. And he's been that guy where the coaches have been trying to get him more opportunities to play.
And Coach says he's an all-around team guy.
Trips right for the Cougars. They're coming again. Bowers goes over the middle, looking for Mangan. Broken up well by Nick Scalaro.
And actually, I thought Scalaro was going to catch it. If you watch the replay, he just sat there right behind, and as soon as that ball was coming, he jumped right in front, went up, and just made a great defensive play. And if you watch it here, it's almost like he's baiting him, and then he just undercuts it and just misses it.
As a junior, Scalaro had 8 interceptions. This year, a pair of pick sixes. One was called back, but you could see how good he is around the football.
Yeah, Coach says he's, the anchor of the secondary, and he's just a great kid.
Bowers goes to the outside. He finds Miller. He gets a blocker, but it's only a short gain. And the Cougars forced to punt.
Again, St. Peter's is playing an odd front. They only have a 5-man box. They're overplaying the outside and the passing game. And again, how many plays are you going to dial up on 3rd and 20, 4th and 20? The penalty is what set them back. They're shooting themselves in the foot right now. They got to clean it up if they want to get back into this game. And they have that ability. They just need to clean it up. And it's got to start with their leaders, their captains.
So Osordo back to punt. Williams is deep. Nearly blocked. There is a flag here as Williams fair caught the ball at the 45. Now, which is this, Mike? Is it 5 yards or?
No, that's 15.
15.
He crashed into him.
Watch it again, and unfortunately, even for St. John's, still not enough, though, to get the first down. And they were bringing it.
Took a lot of time between the snap getting back, the very slow release there.
And that's part of the reason, right, why Phil Alba says do no harm, right, in the specials. You don't have to make a great play, but don't make a negative play. And that was the case last week. Listen, it was an 8-0 game against St. Joe C, and actually it is a first down.
Yes, it's an automatic first down on that personal foul.
But last week against C, it was Joe Sola who came in, blocked the punt. Joe Moran returned it 41 yards for the big touchdown, and that was a difference, 15-0, the final score.
1/3 of the game.
Yes, it is.
People that are watching this are probably sick of me saying it, but it's just, especially on a high school level, how much do you practice special teams? We do it at Massapequa every day, which I'm really excited about, especially that I run some of the specials. But it sets up the offense and defense.
All right, so maybe some new life here. That's trying to bounce it to the outside. Skota lowers the shoulder as he's tackled by Scalaro.
The carry for the Cougars, it's a gain of 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and 2 from the 48.
So maybe some momentum now for the Cougars.
And now you're starting to see the St. Peter's guys talking to the officials right now. The palms are up in the air. Turbell is looking at the official and trying to figure out why something wasn't called. Just play football. Just go out and play football. If they didn't call it, you complaining is not going to change the official's call.
2nd and 2 for the Cougars. Hand off to Skota, and he's pulled backwards. What a terrific tackle by Nick Neer, another son of a coach.
Yeah, and again, you're starting to hear, even like in front of us, like a lot of yelling and screaming. There's a lot of chippiness going on right now, whether it's twisting at the piles or late hits. But if you notice, St. John's the Baptist, right now, they got a little momentum, a little life. They're running the ball against this front instead of trying to throw the ball.
Nick Neer on that tackle, father part of the Code DC, along with Rob Sika. That's Rob Neer. So 3rd and 3. Fumble, and St. Peter's looks like they have it. It was Bonilla, I believe, rushing the football. Forcing the fumble was Vizone. And let's see who recovered it for St. Peter's.
Yeah, this is just a zone read.
He never looked comfortable with the ball, Bonilla.
No, but Vizone kind of strips it out right now, and it looked like he was trying to read something, probably read in the defensive end if he came down or not. But big momentum switch right here. Now let's see what St. Peter's does.
Villali yet to throw a ball. In fact, there hasn't been a play other than this, which is handoff to Williams. Flag, though, on the play.
Penalty on the play.
Probably going to be a hold right at the point of attack.
False start on the offense, says Ron Winchester.
5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
We mentioned in the open some changes, which included Vallely coming in at QB, a move on the line positionally with Kelty going from center to left tackle. Maybe subtle moves, right? But it's made a big difference for the Eagles down the stretch drive of this regular season. They've won their last 3 games.
Yes, obviously the move worked very well. There's your play action that I was asking for before.
And there's Zach Hoshillo. Listen, you stack the box enough and you run Williams enough, you're going to have an opportunity to go downfield. That's exactly what Hoshillo did, his second reception of the year.
And there's 11 guys in the box, and it's just a little play action. He had just enough time, just a post corner route, real nice route, good ball. And that's what you have to do. You want to get guys out of the box, you're going to have to run some play action.
Hoshillo and Brandon Weinberg, your receivers, they've, as you can see, by the way, they run Williams so much, their primary job is to block.
Yes. And that's what I said. If you can't block, you're not getting on the field as a receiver.
And of the two, Hoshillo is the main blocker, so good to see him get a big reception. Again, just his second. His first was just for 3 yards, as you saw Williams cut it back upfield, pulled down at about the 12.
That should have been a loss of 1. All right? And if you watch this jump cut that he makes to go all the way back across the field, that is tremendous vision for that young man.
Coming in, we saw there was Salu Diokane, senior basketball player, number 1, 6'3", 185.
Seems that they have a lot of dual athletes on this.
Well, huge credit to Mark DiCristoforo. Diokane, part of Ryan Wood's terrific basketball team. Get to that in a moment as Williams tries to cut it to the outside, has blockers, and he's pulled down at about the 8, but kind of the recruiting thing is DiCristoforo goes in and says, listen, I know you're playing basketball, but maybe you want to give yourself another look. Maybe colleges can see you in a different sport. And it's worked with 3 different players. The big difference, though, is Diokane will play a lot on the basketball team. A couple other guys don't. So it's like, hey, do you want to just sit the bench in one sport? How about you play another? Maybe you open some eyes there.
And I'm a big believer in multiple sport athletes. I was told that they also have a lot of baseball players. I mean, when you're getting recruited, you got to play multiple sports. That's what colleges want.
Aruda, a fantastic baseball player as well for the Eagles. Here we go, 3rd and 3. Under center, handoff. Williams breaks the tackle, pushes forward. Did he get in? No indication. There is on the far sideline. Touchdown, St. Peter's. And what strength he showed there. I think he got past Vitucci. And I thought Vitucci got arms on him, 65. Watch it again.
I thought it was Bonilla. Yeah, both of them.
Wow.
You know something? You got to understand how strong he has to be to break through those two guys.
So Coppola, the PAT. It is up, and it is good. So St. Peter's extends their lead 17-0 over St. John's the Baptist. You're watching this AA1 Catholic Showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
The latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media. Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first.
Thank you.
Back here at St. John the Baptist. Dylan Butler alongside Mike Spina. Jeremiah Williams, his second rushing touchdown of the game, 8 yards. Now has 111 yards on the ground, 15 carries. That's the lead now 17-0.
The big play on that drive was the play action.
Look at this. Did it go? It did not go the necessary 10 yards. So some trickery there.
See, now, that is a great pooch kick. It did go to necessary 10 yards. The problem is
it didn't hit the ground.
It did not hit the ground. And I will tell you this. Most fans don't know that rule. They've changed the rules over the last few years. I mean, it's well executed. It was perfect.
And that kills you, right, if you're like a coach? Because, like, you're not going to pull those out very often, right? So you're like...
To where coaches used to almost drove the ball into the ground. Well, that became illegal, too. It's just
So...
It's a safety rule.
Yes,
it's a safety rule. They changed 2 rules. That one and when the ball is kicked directly into the ground and you get that high hop, they've outlawed that one as well on a high school level. I mean, you see it in the pros, how they've changed the kickoffs. You know, everything's for safety, you know, not just the pro players, but of the kids too, and I'm kind of in agreement with that. You know, it's a great sport. You know, and if you can make it a little bit safer but still play it the same way, I mean, I'm all for that. But you see how the special teams are kind of taking over this game. I mean, you know, the field goal kicker hasn't missed an extra point all year. He executed that perfect. It was just, you know, you wonder if they even knew the rule that you couldn't.
So now, Mike, huge moment here for the Cougars, right? You're down 17-0. You've got the ball on the other side of midfield. You've got to get points on this drive.
You do, and you got to see how they're going to attack this. You know, they've shot themselves in the foot the last few drives. Are they going to go back to the ground game, which was successful, or are they going to start airing it out in desperation?
One thing that Phil Alba told us, one of the keys, right? Multiple 25-plus yard plays, big plays. There goes Bowers, flushed out, and he gets towards the first down marker, pulled out of bounds by Nick Neer.
Yeah, that's a good job. He was getting a good hard rush from the outside, and he just spun out of it and picked up 8-9 yards. So, I mean, that's a good drive starter for them. You see the pressure right up the middle, spins to the outside. Good block right there by Rodriguez just to free him up a little bit.
Yeah, Memo, left tackle. Hasn't really played a lot of organized football before this year. A wrestler, but he's come on really strong for these Cougars up front. And there's Bowers again pushing forward, and he's sent backwards as well. More time for Mario Rizzone, but it's good enough for a St. John the Baptist first down.
Yeah, real nice tackle though by Rizzone. I mean, nice and low, drove Bowers back. But it was a first down, so they have a little bit of momentum going right now. And again, it started with a pass play that ended up into a scramble run, and then you just saw the zone read by he just going up the middle on that. So, again, you know, this is an important drive.
And the Cougars also get the ball coming out for the start of the second half. So if you can get a score here, keep St. Peter's off the board, and then get something at the start of the third quarter. That's a lot of ifs, but...
Well, this is that 2-for-1 that we were talking about. But if you just watch the setup of that play, there's too much motion going on. Everybody seems very jumpy. You know, Bowers is jumping a little bit, Scott is jumping a little bit, and then the guard or tackle, couldn't see from here, moved on the line. So all the shifting that they're doing, to me, is hurting them a little bit, not helping them.
So ball back now on the 36-yard line. First and 15, twin receivers at either side, although now Jackson motions out to be a receiver. Bowers empty backfield, flushed under, and going nowhere. Play is dead. I think Neer was in it, 13. They just blew up the middle there.
Yeah, well, again, they motion into an empty set, and all of a sudden you're bringing more guys than you can block. So there's no protection. You can't protect if they're sending 5-6 guys on a blitz.
Angel Negrete also in on the tackle, number 9, the sole returning player on the defensive line. 6'2", 225, 44 tackles on the year. So 2nd and 20 now. Bowers has time, goes, finds a receiver, and pulled down was Brandon Raber, the senior from Lindenhurst.
Yeah, that's a really nice job on their crossing route. Just dropping 8 men into a zone right now, and now you're looking at a 3rd and 15. Again, you know, I sound like a broken record, but they're shooting themselves in the foot. Legal start, holding penalty. They're behind the sticks on almost every drive now.
So timeout St. Peter's with seconds left here in the second quarter. Let's take a look at the season that has been for the Eagles. You see it started with that win over Susan Wagner, a young Susan Wagner team, and then a big win against St. Joe's C, right? 22-19. You had a goal line stand against Elmira to win that game. You beat Zavarian. You go on the road. You lose to Kellenberg. You lose to Farrell. And then a big win. This is where the change happened on October 11th at Stepanak, an overtime win. 31-28, followed by 2018 over Fordham Prep. And then that barn burner at home, 44-41 against Holy Trinity last week. It's a game where the Eagles had a 24-0 lead early. They blew that lead, and then they had to rally late to win that one. But Williams had 148 yards at the half, finished with 282 on the day on 39 carries.
The key is they held on to win. They didn't blow it.
But Rob Sika said it was a bit of a wake-up for his defense. They were kind of feeling themselves a little bit, and all of a sudden you give up 41 points. Bowers airs it out, goes long, and ends up overthrowing his intended target, Jaden Miller.
Yeah, just a simple go route. Little pressure again up the middle. And real good coverage by Duke Davis. You know, he just ran with him the whole way. No double move, just a simple go route. And again, now it's 4th down. Now you're in that situation where what are you going to do? Well, you're too far away, you're going to punt. Yeah. You don't want to give them field position here with 37 seconds to go. You do get the ball to start the second half. But that was that perfect situation where, again, a penalty pushed them back a little bit, pushed them behind the sticks. Now your philosophy of the drive changes.
And in many ways, too, Mike, as Sordo will get this one high in the air, and Williams will just let it go into the end zone. So even there, that doesn't end up being that big of a positive because it gives a touchback and it started at the 20-yard line. But you were given a gift, right? You had the ball at midfield or on the other side of midfield and unable to capitalize. And listen, these are high school kids as well, right? You didn't score a point in last week's game. Now you're going to go 6 quarters without a point. You know, that starts to bleed into some kids' mentalities.
Sure, your confidence level starts to drop a little bit. You start questioning yourself. You start questioning what you're calling as a coach. You know, what's going to work, what's not going to work. Are we trying to do too much? You know, it almost has to be to the point where you simplify things just a little bit. And just once you get that positive, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. Pound the ball. And here's your play action.
Valili goes deep, finds a man, and is caught. A huge play for Brandon Weinberg.
And that's St. John's the Baptist just relaxing right there.
Timeout. St. Peter's.
Timeout by the Eagles. Another look. You mentioned play action, and Weinberg wide open downfield.
And if he keeps running, I'm not saying he's scoring, but he had a step on him. So I wasn't sure why the cutback. And, I don't want to be critical. I mean, just go. Take what you can get. But what a play call. Again, I think St. John's the Baptist saw double tight, little everybody in. Looks like they're just going to give the ball to Williams, and boom, play action. And now all of a sudden you have a chance to score again with 16 seconds.
Yeah, Weinberg, he has that ability to go out. He makes some circus catches, and Sika said he's starting to come into his own as a pass catcher. And again, job primarily as a blocker, along with Hoshilla, the starting wide receivers. And that was a bit of a concern, too, coming in, right? Like, Weinberg's 5'10", 150. Hoshilla's 6', 155. Can they block outside linebackers in the Catholic Football League? And that's what Sika said. But John Carlson, who is the wide receivers coach, said, Coach, they got this. And they've turned out to be two of the better blockers for the Eagles this year.
Well, blocking's about technique and heart and desire. It's not just about strength. I mean, and they're constantly getting angles. And if you look at the offensive line for St. Peter's versus the defensive line for St. John's the Baptist, you would say mismatch. Advantage St. John's the Baptist. But when you have a running back like Williams, he changes things all around. Even in the passing game, he does. Same play.
Valili goes deep, finds a man, touchdown, St. Peter's. Diokane, and a late flag as well.
And now being unsportsmanlike, he was doing some dancing in the end zone. No need for that. I mean, great play, great catch. Act like you've been there before.
Diokane pulls it in. First touchdown of the year for Salou.
And I'm sure the coaches will get on him about that. You don't ever want to show your opponent up.
You're going to have him enforced on the kickoff.
So that unsportsmanlike will be enforced
penalty
on the kickoff.
That will be enforced on the kickoff.
Your long snapper is Kelty, a rooted a hold. And it's Coppola looking to continue his streak. A perfect one at that of PATs.
And we didn't mush him.
We did. You're not mushing him. It's not going to happen. He's that good. As St. Peter's extends their lead to 24-0. We'll take a quick break as we'll have the final 9 seconds of this first half right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Back here at St. John the Baptist, Dylan Butler, Mike Spina, our entire Varsity Media crew with you. Ryan Valili connected with Salou Diokane. 29-yard touchdown for Valili, his 4th touchdown pass of the year. And again, when you look at his numbers, right, they don't blow off your page, but consider he's only been the starting quarterback the last few games in a run-heavy offense as well. For Diokane, reception number 12, first touchdown of the year for the 6'3" senior.
And a lot of credit has to go to that offensive line. I mean, the skill kids get all the credit, but when you have guys like Kilty, Olivia, Dante Charmalea, Santiago, Althoff, I mean, they're doing such a great job controlling up front. And they're not the biggest guys in the world, but they're doing a great job today.
So there'll be a time for one more play here for
spotted at the 40-yard line.
the Cougars.
The Cougars will have first down and 10 with 3 seconds remaining.
24-0, the St. Peter's lead. The Cougars do have the ball coming out of the halftime break.
Got to get something positive coming out of the locker room. Your first drive has to be positive, even if you don't score. And right now, positive would be no penalties on a drive and moving the ball, moving the chains.
And we see Mo Scott in at QB. At the beginning of the season, the transfer from Riverhead, the play call was Motown, and it was limited for him, but they've since expanded the playbook. He has a terrific arm, and Scott will try to show it off here. Although this time he tucks it under, avoids a tackle, continues his run, and he's finally downed inside the 40-yard line for the final play of the first half. So that, listen, you want something positive? That could be something positive going into the break. Maybe you see a little bit more of Mo Scott as a weapon here for the Cougars, along with Max Bowers. But it's been a difficult first half for the Cougars. They'll go into the laboratory, figure things out for St. Peter's. Probably more of the same. More Williams running the ball, maybe some play action as well. St. Peter's, a 24-0 lead here at the half. We'll take a quick break on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
After the Navy, I came home to marry my high school sweetheart and start a family. We've learned compromise is critical. Congress is no different. I'm Nick Lalota. Taking on extremists in both parties, I've worked across the aisle to lower costs, restore our assault deduction, secure the border, end cashless bail, and empower Suffolk cops. That's why I'm ranked one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. I'm Nick Lalota, and I approve this message. I'll keep fighting problems, not people, to make Long Island safe and affordable.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050. 2050.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Back here at St. John the Baptist, it is halftime here on Senior Day. You see the cheerleaders doing their thing on the field now, all part of the halftime festivities here at St. John the Baptist. St. Peter's with a 24-0 lead, and we welcome in the new principal. He's a rookie, everybody. Vinny Albrecht, and Vinny, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you guys for being here
on the broadcast. Yeah, I mean, listen, the atmosphere here is terrific, right? You got the snack stand going. It's Senior Day, big crowd, beautiful day. This is what it's like, I'd imagine. What you want to see here at St. John the Baptist.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of great excitement here. You know, the boys have gotten off to a tough start today. We're a little bit inconsistently consistent, I like to say, but we're getting there. But it's, you know, St. Peter's is a great school. They have a great program, and they're playing a hard-fought game. But, you know, we're doing some great things at St. John's, looking to, you know, begin a new renaissance here and, you know, starting some new programs to try to keep Catholic education in the forefront of all the great things that here on Long Island. We have so many great public schools, so many great Catholic schools. And for St. John's, we have a nice little niche here in Suffolk County on the South Shore, and we want to try to make that even a bigger point for everybody to see how amazing we are. So we're working a few new things, hopefully, for the future. So keep people excited about us.
First of all, impressed. Good analyst here already. Mike Spina might be in trouble for the second half. You might have to step in for him. But what are some of those new things that you're looking to get going here in year one and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, right now we have a relationship with Good Sam Hospital right next door, which is a blessing, you know, to have a hospital right next to a school. So we've had a program for the last couple of years where they've done some partnership with them, but we've now expanded on that. We've rebranded it. It's a Medical Science Institute, hoping to give our juniors and seniors exposure to medical science fields so that when they go to college, they have different things they can check off on their resumes, make them more attractive to the college, but also give them, those kids who want to be in the medical sciences, a leg up. You know, so I think it's a really great thing that we're doing there. We're looking into doing some building maybe on property. We're redoing the baseball field, trying to work on maybe doing some stuff in terms of construction to keep up with my friends at Kellenberg and Chaminade and St. Anthony's, you know, to give our kids a world-class place for our kids to learn and for our kids to compete, and that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, along those lines, right? I mean, this is a football Saturday. It becomes a community thing. Obviously, you're in West Islip, but you draw from so many different other communities. Yeah. But when they get here, they're all Cougars. It's all part of the brotherhood that Phil Alba mentions, and their sisterhood as well. How big is athletics for the student body here?
Well, I mean, you know, we don't have all the bells and whistles that some of our friends have. You know, St. Anthony's has a lot of great things. They have a great program there. And so we don't like to compare ourselves to those other schools. A lot of times people do that. We just want to teach kids how to be good human beings, to be good Catholics, to do things ethically correctly, be good sportsmen, to play the games the right way. Win or lose, we want to make sure that our young men and women understand that we are first called to be cheerleaders for each other. You know, the girls on the field right now, yeah, they are the cheerleaders, but we really need to be cheering each other on. And I think sometimes we forget that. And we try to make sure that, you know, when we say that you're a Cougar for life, that means that you're always supporting each other no matter what you're doing, whether it's on the field or in the academic classrooms or just, you know, like the experience we just witnessed losing one of our students not too long ago. We came together as a community to be there for each other through love and support. and the wider Catholic school community did that as well. A lot of people from the schools in Staten Island to the schools in the city, a lot of people just pouring their support on us. That's the Catholic school community together. On the field, we're combatants, but once you get off that field, we're all family. And I think that that's a great thing. And, a lot of high energy on the sidelines today with some of the excitement of this game, a rivalry game for us and for them. And so it's great to see, though, that when they leave here at the end of the game, they're going to be hugging each other and giving each other high fives. And it's not going to be any of that because we are a Catholic family.
Right.
And we try to teach that throughout all our sports programs here, that no matter what the final score is, that we're first Cougars and we're first Catholic, and that we support each other, even the people on the other side.
Yeah, great stuff. That's first-year principal here at St. John the Baptist, Vinny Albrecht. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me again. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys again.
Yeah, definitely.
Right,
we'll take a quick break, and we'll come out with the start of the second half here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream events. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
After the Navy, I came home to marry my high school sweetheart and start a family. We've learned compromise is critical. Congress is no different. I'm Nick Lalota. Taking on extremists in both parties, I've worked across the aisle to lower costs, restore our assault deduction, secure the border, end cashless bail, and empower Suffolk cops. That's why I'm ranked one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. I'm Nick Lalota, and I approve this message. I'll keep fighting problems, not people, to make Long Island safe and affordable.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Welcome back to St. John the Baptist. I've gone over that. What does that bridge have a name? I know it's right, like the Robert Moses Causeway. But I just mean that one part of it.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. And that's a fun ride down Ocean Parkway as well to avoid the insanity, if you will, of the Southern State Parkway. But it's a beautiful day for that ride as well, and it's a nice day for St. Peter's making the ride from Staten Island to Long Island out to West Islip. One of the longer trips you can make in this Catholic Football League. But the Eagles, they've come and they've done what we've expected them to do, and they've got a nice lead here at halftime. Let's take a look at some of the other games happening this weekend. Again, final weekend of the regular season, and there are spots to be played for. Here's a look at the schedule. Last night you had Iona and Farrell, Christ the King, St. Dom's, Chaminade, and Xavier out there at Aviator Sports Complex. There's the big one right next to it. St. Anthony's, Cardinal Hayes, happening right now at Columbia University. That's for the 2 and the 3 seed. So St. Anthony's, you win that game, and if you project and, listen, obviously favorites get upset, but you could have that matchup and you could have it back on a Friday night at Cy Donnelly Field. That's a big, big difference.
Yeah, I'm sure that game's been circled. I mean, the way both teams have been playing all year, St. Anthony's is, they lost earlier in the season to Chaminade, and all of a sudden things have started to click a little bit for them. So I'm looking forward to a real good game there.
And you see some of the other ones as well. St. Francis Prep, we saw them with pretty high in the AA1 standings, right? They're taking on Kellenberg. Right down the street, St. Francis Prep using Mitchell Field, Kellenberg right across Hempstead Turnpike there, Fordham Prep and Mount St. Michael about the Bronx, Holy Cross Cardinal Spellman, Kennedy Catholic Zavarian, St. Josie making the trip tomorrow at 1. I'm not sure how. Maybe they'll have their marathon runner's gear on and get across the Verrazano Bridge to take on Holy Trinity. And then Stepinac and Moore Catholic. Stepinac in desperate need of a victory, heading to Staten Island, trying to get one tomorrow afternoon against the Mavericks.
So good thing is those teams travel and get an extra hour.
They do. You're right. You're right.
We are getting ready to begin the second half. The Cougars will get the football first.
So St. John the Baptist, their ball coming out. And listen, you've been in a lot of these huddles, Mike. What are some of the words likely said with the Albas and the other coaches and these Cougars?
I've been on both sides. I mean, when you're up, you tell your kids don't relax. Don't ever relax. The team's going to come out of there with some fire. When you're on the other side, it's easy to just sit there, yell and scream and try to motivate, but does that really work? I mean, what you have to do is you have to make corrections. And the first correction they have to make, and I'm sure Coach Albas talked about, stop shooting ourselves in the foot. Let's stop with the penalties. A lot of those penalties are silly penalties. They're not overly aggressive penalties. Jumping off sides, false starts, and then a couple unsportsmanlike and personal fouls that they did eventually get. But that's changed this game. This game should be a 3-0 game. It should, or even maybe a 10-7 game. It should not be a 24-0 game. And that's the message I'm going to tell my team right now. If I was a head coach, I'd say, listen, guys, we've shot ourselves in the foot. This is not a 24-0 game. We need to just take the ball this first drive, get something positive out of it. If we can score, change the momentum, get on defense, get a 3-and-out, and then you never know what happens.
And also, you want to get some momentum heading into the postseason, right? You've got 2 more quarters left of football at home. You're not playing back here again this season. Let's make them count. And the opening kickoff fielded by Miller. And he's pulled backwards at about the 27-yard line. So we saw Mo Scott come out at the last play of the first half. Will it be Bowers or it will be Mo Scott to come out? In our conversation with Phil Alba, he said we would see more of Scott as well. And in addition, and it looks like in the huddle there he is, number 12. So Scott will come out for this first series of the third quarter.
Yeah, and it's just, trying to build off even that last play of the half, where he rushed for 12, 13 yards. I mean, you want to keep that momentum going. So, again, you're going to see that 3-man box. Are they going to come out throwing because they're down 24, or are they going to establish some kind of a power read and run game?
Mo Scott is the heir apparent, a junior. First play, hands off. That's Skoda pushing forward. He gets to about the 35-yard line.
5-yard gain, 2nd down and 5 coming up.
Good 5-yard gain from Skoda. Came into this game, 34 carries, 118 yards, and a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, and he's a big bruiser. He's, 6'1", 210 pounds. I mean, that's a load. And I'm not talking about a load in a bad way. I'm talking about a load to tackle, especially the way he runs. He runs hard. He plays physical. He could wear a team down by himself.
2nd and 5. And there's Scott. Love that he just continued to churn those legs, right? That's what you guys always tell your players, and Scott did just that, got the extra yard he wanted, and he moves the chains.
And I tell you, what a great block by the right tackle, Cahill. He just caved down the defense right there by himself. Caved it down and ran right behind him. All right, if you watch right here, it's just a power, and you can see 59, Cahill, just sealing number 2. All right, on a great, that's a great block. And again, 1st down, chains move. There's your positivity right there.
And who did he block? That was D'Amelio, our impact player defensively. Scott takes a fortunate bounce back to him, slings it up this sideline. That is caught by Miller.
Catch made by
What a grab.
Miller will clear Scott's throat. It's a Cougars 1st down at the 32-yard line.
And again, when Scott dropped the ball, I just took a deep breath and said, oh, no, here we go again. One of those, let's shoot ourselves in the foot. But to his credit, he didn't panic. He picked the ball up. He waited for Miller to break open. Great throw, great catch.
So another 1st down for the Cougars at about the 32-yard line. Here's Scott. Pressure comes, ducks under that. Scampers up the sideline, forced out of bounds by D'Amelio.
Maurice Scott with the carry.
Cosmo D'Amelio, 68 tackles on the year. What you love, too, out of your Mike linebacker, he brings that intensity. He looks a little crazy, right, with his face, but he's a terrific student athlete as well, looking to perhaps play in the Ivies.
Yeah, his teammates call him a beast. And they basically say there's no other way to put it.
No, they literally just say, hey, Beast, how are you, Beast?
Correct.
Like, that's just his name. 2nd and 8. Scott goes outside to Mangan. Tries to cut it inside. Has blockers upfield. And finally taken down.
Pass complete to number 4, Braden Mangan.
Nick Neer on the tackle.
Gain of 7. It'll be 3rd down and a yard.
And actually, he probably saved a touchdown with that tackle. But give Miller credit. I mean, Miller did a nice job blocking on the outside. And again, when your receivers will block for each other, they're going to catch the ball for each other.
So 3rd and 2. Getting close now to that red zone, which that's where it's been problematic. Scott. Good looking tackle. That's a TFL by Brody Turnbull. His 4th of the year.
No, he's a captain, 4-year starter. They brought him up and they said as a freshman he was okay. He wasn't one of the greatest kids, but 4 years later you see what he's doing on the field.
Well, he's a great example just of as a freshman, the JV coach he was done with him. Like, he was an issue. Di Cristofaro said, I'll take him. And he took his lumps on varsity. Another big defensive play. And look what he's become now, right? From a guy who is possibly going to get tossed off the JV team now to being a senior captain.
Yeah, and we see that with kids at a very young age. And again, this is a timing play. This is a power. And you see the snap and the quarterback exchange, not great. Little bobble here.
So they turn it over on downs. And the Eagles back. Take a look at some of their first half stats. Ryan Valili, economic, right? 3 for 3, 115 and a touchdown. And Jeremiah Williams has been the workhorse that we've seen of him throughout this year, even last year as well. 15 carries for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's pretty efficient when you basically want to call a game.
A week ago had 39 carries. Here's his first of the second half. It went sideline to sideline, wasn't able to cut it upfield. Good job defensively by the Cougars, but there are some flags late.
Now, I saw this. This is a great call. All right. Skoda was being blocked 15 yards down the field, and he got somehow on top of him, and I'm not saying he threw a punch, but he definitely pushed down on his chest. And it was real obvious because the back judge was right there looking right at it. And the way this game has been chippy the whole game, they're looking for it.
So Ron Winchester made the signal there on the personal foul against SJB. So the Eagles with a first down from the 40-yard line. And in this world of shotgun quarterbacks, right, this is a little bit old school look here from Lely under center, and Williams a little bit of an old school back as well. He will take a licking and keep on ticking. First down for St. Peter's.
He's so versatile. He is so good running downhill, but yet he could stop on a dime, jump cut, go the other way, and then stop again and get back downhill. He's a special back. And this is the moment of truth right now for St. John the Baptist. You just took your emotional leader off the field, and now you want to see how the team responds.
1st and 10 on the St. John the Baptist 48-yard line. Villili slings it, finds Hoshillo. Had a big play in the first half, and Hoshillo, another one, down at about the 36-yard line. And listen, you've talked about him all game, Mike, but no good running back can do it by himself. These are the big boys up front. Kelty on the left with Oliva, Charamella, Santiago, and Altoff have done an outstanding job.
And I got to be honest, they are not the biggest line that I've seen in a long time, especially if you look at Catholic school lines where you got massive players. These guys' technique is very good. They're well coached. They get a great angle on their blocks. They're running this system very well, and they're just doing an outstanding job.
Well, I think it speaks to the overall mentality, right, for St. Peter's. It's not the biggest offensive line. Some of like Williams, a great example, right? Not the biggest of players, not the biggest of rosters. They have like 37, 38 players on the roster, but it's all about the mentality, right? You don't have to have 100 guys in a team to win football games.
Sometimes less is more. And like I always like to say, when you have too many guys, you have too many guys sitting around. Too many guys, causing distractions.
So another personal foul against the Cougars. Look at this, all the way down now to the 20-yard line. Multiple personal fouls have proved problematic for the Cougars. Handoff, there goes Williams. Bauer's got a hand on him, or got an arm on him at least, to slow him down a little bit. He's finally pulled down inside the 20.
Now, you got to be careful here if you're St. John the Baptist. I mean, you have a lot of personal fouls and sportsmen. Like, if somebody gets ejected from this game, I'm assuming it's the same rule, they will be out the next game, which is their playoff game.
Yeah.
So you have to actually sit there and talk to your kids and say, let's not be dumb. Let's play smart. Let's play hard. Play within the rules. But if something happens, you have to walk away right now. And I understand the emotions of seniors, last home game. It's tough.
2nd and 8. Williams, nice hole that opened up for him. Continues to go. Another flag is down as he's pulled down at about the 10-yard line. And I'm looking at the far side. Looks like this will be a face mask against the Cougars. We mentioned the officials before. Ron Winchester's your referee. Chris Hart, your umpire. Jamie Herbert, your line judge. Jimmy Graham, the linesman. Dan Coletti is your back judge. And keeping time up here in the booth, Pat Wren.
The legend, Pat Wren.
we know we're in good hands. We do these games. We're at St. Anthony's. We're at Chaminade. We're here at Baptist. Pat Wren walks up. You're like, all right. We're good. We're good. First and goal for the Eagles. Williams, you see him to Valili's left. Valili airs it out, throws it in the end zone, looking for Hoshillo, and that is incomplete. His first incomplete pass of the game.
And that was actually very well covered. I don't know if they expected it, but they did a real nice job not going for the play-action fake, and he actually almost drew into double coverage there. It's nice when you can say, hey, listen, no problem. We take a shot first down when you have 3 other shots with Mr. Williams. Doesn't hurt.
Second and goal from the 5. St. Peter's an opportunity to really break this one wide open. Under center, Valili. Toss left. Williams, a jungle all over him. Jungle, Bonilla, along with Max Bowers.
And that was definitely Bowers, grabbing him high. You know, you talk about tackle low, but sometimes at the goal line, if you tackle low and he falls forward, it can still be a positive play or a touchdown. He wrapped him high, bent him back a little bit. That is a big play right here. This is actually an interesting series because, I mean, you could go up 31-0 or you can get a stop here and get that momentum back because it was a good first offensive drive for St. John the Baptist.
Valili, he has a man in the corner. Touchdown, St. John the Baptist. Hoshillo, his first touchdown of the season.
And that's a great play design. Again, little play action. They ran an arrow underneath and a corner route and wide open. Good throw. Just had enough air under it. And it wasn't even really a play action. It was just a straight drop back.
So the Eagles extend their lead. And now the point after team stepping in. And again, it'll be Kelty to hold. Excuse me, long snapper. The holder is Aruda. And it'll be Coppola to kick. There was a dead ball foul against St. Peter's after the touchdown. That will be enforced on the kickoff.
Yeah, it looked like another unsportsmanlike.
Here's Coppola. Kick is up, and it is good as St. Peter's. The Eagles, they're flying high right now out here in West Islip. They've got a 31-0 lead over St. John the Baptist. You're watching it all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Right now he's at 14-21, so he's 8 more yards. Great.
Welcome back to St. John the Baptist. Dylan Butler, Mike Spina, our entire Varsity Media crew. It is St. Peter's with a 31-0 lead over St. John the Baptist. Those Eagles, they've now extended their lead as Valili connected with Hoshillo for a 5-yard touchdown. Last 2 touchdowns were passing ones as Valili now with 5 touchdowns in the air on the year. And again, in a short amount of games as well, right? His 3rd or 4th start here of the season after coming in from Marco Aruda.
And he looks very smooth and very comfortable behind that offensive line. I mean, again, you know, with Williams running the ball, the blocking, the way they're being blocked, I mean, you look like you have a lot of time, but the receivers are running great routes. They really are. And they're catching the ball.
And it speaks a lot to Valili's character as well, right? As Coppola gets it up in the air. This one is fielded at the 30-yard line. Jackson, the return up the middle. Good return for the freshman. as he's pulled down about the 50. But going back for a second to Valili, listen, this is a kid who, again, he transfers in this year as a senior with a 2-year varsity starting quarterback there as well, right? So a lot of times, and even Rob Sika said, guys like that, they could just mail it in as a senior. He did not do that. You know, he worked hard in practice, was helping out Aruda as QB2, and then when the switch came, he was ready. He understood the concepts. He understood. He had the right mentality. He has the right personality as well. And he just dedicated himself to learning a brand new system in a very short amount of time.
Which is not easy to do.
Scott. You could see the arm strength from Scott. Incomplete, though, and looked like the closer to it, though, as it was attempted to Lisbon, was Nick Scalaro.
Yeah, he throws a nice ball. He just overthrew that one, but he stood tall in the pocket and he slung it. I mean, just like I said, it was just out of reach, but that's a nice ball right there.
Yeah, there you see the OC, James Alba. His dad, Phil, said at the start, we've got to find a way to get Mo Scott some time. And again, Motown was the call early in the year. It was a limited playbook, and he would come in for a series here or there. And now we're seeing more of Mo Scott. And again, it's not anything about, it's not a negative against Bowers, certainly. It's Bowers is asked to do so much. Here's Jackson around the edge. Gets out of bounds at about the 45-yard line.
You know, and we did talk about Bowers also playing linebacker and getting beat up, and that's a lot of wear and tear on your body. You know, very, very, very rare do you see your starting quarterback playing a linebacker spot. You know, they'll play a free safety, maybe a corner, but to play middle linebacker, where especially in the Catholic League where you're going to get beat up even more, that's rare.
And correction, that wasn't 16 Jackson, it was 19 Lisbon with the run. 3rd and 6 for the Cougars. Scott back to pass, flushed out. Chase down off his back foot, has a man, and it's Lisbon. First down for the Cougars.
First and goal for the Cougars.
Again, I'm going to say this. In the second half with Scott at the quarterback, they seem more fluid. They're throwing the ball a little bit better. They're running the ball a little bit better. Watch how he steps up and escapes the pressure. And no panic. And he just lays the ball up there.
Off his back foot. You see the catch by Lisbon. And now for I want to say the first time all game, the Cougars are actually in the red zone. If it's not, it's the second. And the first time, I think, is when they backed themselves up for like 4 consecutive penalties. Scott, the handoff. Skoda to the outside. And he gets to about the 5-yard line. Scalaro with the tackle.
What a great tackle. One-on-one. You saw the jump cut to get it outside, and that's just a great one-on-one tackle. I'll tell you, St. John the Baptist has a nice future with Scott at quarterback. I like the way he moves. He's only a junior. You know, he brings a little bit more energy right now to the offense.
Skoda tries to spin, loses the football. And let's see who's got it. I think the Eagles do. Nope, Ron Winchester points the way of the Cougars. Let's see it again here. Oh, it was the zone again.
With that strip, that swipe off a spin move. What a great play.
He's playing himself into more time.
He really is. I mean, if you tell me he's not a first or a starter, I would be like, come on, give me a break. This guy is playing his you-know-what off. I mean, he's on all the special teams. He's your long snapper. He's a big part of this team.
Here we go from the 8, 3rd and goal. Scott back to pass. It was bobbled and caught by Kevin Peters.
Catch made by number 3, Kevin Peters.
And that's just a little, what we call a now route, all right, where you just run a quick slant in. If that ball's not bobbled, that's probably a touchdown. Watch the throw here. right into his hands because he bobbles it. That split second could be him catching the ball and maybe making one little plan into the end zone. Big play here, though.
Yeah, 4th and goal. The Cougars trying to get in the end zone for the first time in a long time. Scott goes end zone. Skoda is there, but so too is Braden Mangan. Touchdown, St. John the Baptist.
It's a Cougar touchdown.
The question is, who was he throwing that to? You had both those receivers in the same area. This is a nice ball.
I think Mangan was the intended target, that 3-yard touchdown. And now, actually, we haven't mentioned the specials for St. John the Baptist because it's been all game, right? So Osordo is your kicker. The holder, Brady Lightman. Lucas Skoda, the long snapper, and the PAT is up and good. So 31-7 now, your score. 2:36 left in the third. Take a quick break. Back for more on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
The latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media. Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Quinn's up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter. And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown. Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
And welcome back to St. John the Baptist. Ramos from the 1 on this kickoff. Ramos breaks a tackle, and there he gets finally forced out of bounds by the kicker himself. Osordo wants to get physical out there. Love it.
Always love a kicker who wants to get involved. No kicker wants to be 20 yards behind the ball and seeing somebody coming up.
Well, your former kicker at Massapequa, now he's a D end.
Yes, he is.
What a great story he is.
And he's doing a great job at the end for us.
Chalemi.
We do have a pretty good kicker.
You do. You have an excellent kicker. So does St. Peter's, and so does St. John the Baptist. A hold on the Eagles, which backs them up to the 25-yard line. 31-7, so that's got to feel good for St. John the Baptist just to get in the end zone. Again, they were shut out last week. Shut out for 2.5 quarters this afternoon. Under center, handoff. Here's Williams. Cuts it upfield, and he's pulled down at about the 32. Let's see how many yards, or 33?
That's it.
And he, with that run, 8-yard run, has become the all-time leading rusher in St. Peter's history. Congratulations to Jeremiah Williams.
Yeah, that's a tremendous feat. I mean, I'm sure that was a record that was long-standing. And, you know, that just shows you how hard he has worked over his years on a varsity career. But also give the line credit.
Williams looks to extend that record now. Cuts it to the outside. Pulled down about the 34-yard line.
And that's a great tackle by Jovan Bonilla. I mean, he just shed one of the pullers and just came off the block.
By Jovan Bonilla.
And that's a great play right there.
But when you can get a guy like Williams, who's that combination during the week, jokester, clown, right? Guy keeps it light in the locker room, and then a monster who runs hard with great vision, who's tough to tackle. I mean, that is a special player.
And a special person. That's
yes.
what you want.
Here he is again, Williams. Oh, look out. somehow gets past the initial tacklers and finally pulled out of bounds.
All right, well, we're going
A
to have
rare
to come back
TFL.
to another. We're going to have to come back to another drive for the record. He just took himself out of the record book. -8. No, but that's what you want. I mean, you want players that, love the game, love what they're doing, having fun.
And for the first time today, St. Peter's punting. That's Marco Arruda to punt. We've barely even mentioned his name, and he's one of the more special players in this league. Doesn't get a lot and actually takes the St. John the Baptist bounce back inside the 35-yard line. So a chance now for the Cougars.
Again, we said, what do you say to your team coming out of the locker room? If you're the team that's up, don't let up. Finish the game. Play all 48 minutes.
And in this huddle, you see the offensive line who will play a big role if they're able to get into the end zone again. Memo Rodriguez, Logan Asbell, William Klein Varno, the Tooch, Julian Vitucci, and Kyle Cahill as well. I don't know if they call him that. I just call him that.
I like it. Tucci.
Yeah.
I like that. Nice Irish name.
Yeah. Handoff on first down. The cut up the middle. The push by those big boys up front to get a few extra.
What's nice is the last 2 drives we haven't seen a flag.
You just clearly jinxed it. We're going to see one on the very next play, which might be at the start of the fourth quarter. Let's see if they can get one more off before the end of the third. Ron Winchester checks the scoreboard behind them, and they will not get a play off. So some positivity for these Cougars in the third quarter. They get a stop. They get on the scoreboard. And they trail 31-7 after 3. You're watching it all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Solomon Thomas with the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
After the Navy, I came home to marry my high school sweetheart and start a family. We've learned compromise is critical. Congress is no different. I'm Nick Lalota. Taking on extremists in both parties, I've worked across the aisle to lower costs.
Welcome back to St. John the Baptist. Fourth quarter underway. Mo Scott back to pass. Flushed out, airs it out towards the sideline. Did have Kevin Peters in the vicinity, so an incomplete pass. Dylan Butler, Mike Spina, our entire Varsity Media crew.
And real good pressure from Mario Vasone. Forcing him out of the pocket, forcing him to throw the ball when he didn't want to throw the ball. But you see the escapability of Scott. You know, he just gives you a little bit of a different dimension right now for this offense. And you know, coming out of halftime, you know, they wanted something positive. Well, I think they found it.
6'3", 180, the junior, transferred in from Riverhead. And at Riverhead was kind of more of that bit of a freelance quarterback. He's had to learn a lot more this year. Quick out, spin, a first down, and a little more. Joey Rivera. A good look there for number 21.
The Cougars at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, it says a lot of colleges are looking at Rivera. You know, he's a good cover guy on defense. You know, hasn't really touched the ball too many times on offense, only getting basically 4 carries for 24 yards, but made a real nice spin move after the catch on that. And he also is one of their pitchers for the baseball team.
So back in the red zone go the Cougars. They scored on their last venture there. Mangan motion to the right. That's where Scott will run with a lot of blockers. But he's pulled down I think that was Scalaro again with the tackle.
And he was taking on not just one, but two blockers at that. And he just basically shoved them out of the way and made that play. That's a real nice defensive play for Scalaro.
Yeah, and you were following, Scott was following, Vitucci was on that side, right? You had Cahill on that side.
And the running back.
Yeah. Handoff coming this side. Lisbon ran into a Mack truck named Vin D'Amato.
Talk about just reading a jet sweep. As soon as he came in motion, he just blew that up. Coach calls him the general back there. He's a safety that makes all the calls, but he doesn't just make the calls. He'll make some of these plays.
So on this injury timeout, let's take a look at some of the Cougars playing college football right now. And it shows you that you can find a home anywhere, right? Lance Myberg at LIU, Lee Webber up at Hamilton, DJ Lisbon, right, the older brother at Post University, Brandon Raines doing his thing at Franklin Pierce, and Jason Ziva's face, that's the face of a national champion up there at Cortland, part of that Division III national championship team last year.
Yeah, they got it rolling up there. You know, I mean, you want to talk about a great facility for, a SUNY school and a great sports program. And, I think that 95% of the phys ed teachers from Long Island all went to Cortland. So my guess, not knowing him from a hole in the wall, is he's probably looking to do some kind of education, And
we'll take a look now at the Eagles, who are flying high on the next level. Elijah Campbell, right? Not too far from here, right? A little bit further north at Stony Brook. Liam McBratney doing his thing at Brockport. Gabe Hoffler at LIU. And then, listen, when you have a college like Wagner, that's a good opportunity, right? You want to stay home. You want to play some college football. That's what Dom and Luke are doing.
Yeah, they look good right there. And if you look at them, it looks like the younger brother of each other. They look almost like twins. But it must be nice that you could stay home, play Division I football, and have your family come see him.
And proof also, from all these colleges, if you do the right thing in high school, you do the right thing academically, you can play college football somewhere.
Yes. I always say the number after the letter means nothing. You want the education, you want a good experience, and you want to go somewhere where you can play.
And you saw that with those guys from Cortland, right? What an experience last year for so many guys from Long Island and from New York. And 3rd and 11 off that injury timeout. Low snap. Here comes Scott. Oh, the pressure's coming his way. Ducks under it. Still chased. Goes end zone. Incomplete. The intended target was Mangan, and it was blocked there. Justin Ramos.
Yeah, great coverage by Ramos. Scalaro also with great coverage. Just this little move to escape this right here gives them a chance. Now, what the receivers need to do, though, is they need to readjust their patterns. All right, they kept running themselves to the sideline, to the sideline, to the sideline. They have to come back. Yeah, this is an interesting call here. You're down 31-7. Good time to work on your field goal and your special teams.
So a 32-yard attempt by Osordo. Your long snapper, Nick Fazzini. The holder was Lightman. And that is no good. So St. Peter's will go back on offense. .938 left in the final quarter of the regular season for both of these teams. After tomorrow's games, everyone's going to be looking at the computer, looking at the Catholic High School Football League site to find out where and when they play.
Well, most coaches probably have a good idea. I mean, I know in Nassau County and Suffolk County with the PowerPoints, you could start punching in the numbers prior, assuming who's going to win and who's going to lose, and kind of figure out where you're matching up.
Oh, a pitch backwards for Williams. That was a difficult one for him to handle.
Jeremiah Williams will be second down and 13.
Yeah, it was just an option that didn't look like a great pitch. Looks like a new quarterback.
Yeah, I think it's Aruda is in. So Marco Aruda. See him there, number 3. He was the 2-year starter. And there you see some of his numbers from most of this season. A freak athlete is Aruda. And there's the handoff, trying to cut it up the field. We're seeing some subs popping in here for St. Peter. Actually, that was Williams on the carry. But back to Aruda for a moment. Talk about a guy again, right? Sacrificing for the team. He leads the AA1 in total yardage. Just a freak athlete. It's a testament to his leadership and his team-first mentality to go from a 2-year varsity starting quarterback as a senior to saying, no, listen, is it better for me to be an H-back and block for Williams? I got you, coach.
Yeah, that's the ultimate team player. They say he's built like a Greek god, too. I love that. I just, you see a lot of guys that are built like Tarzan, but some guys play like Jane. He doesn't play like Jane, I could tell you that.
Back on the wing again.
So
Valali's back in.
Valeli back in. Jump ball, and yeah, listen, Salu's coming down with that one all the time. He plays in the post in basketball. That's just feeding the post.
Take advantage of the height. Take advantage of the mismatch. All right. But again, St. John's Baptist, they're playing real hard second half. This is a great job by their coaching staff. All right. They coming out and look like they were dead in the water. But when he said cut the mistakes, don't shoot yourself in the foot, they have done that this half. All right. Haven't had a lot of penalties, and look what the results are.
Yeah, it's going to be a punt, the second punt of this game, and that is Aruda to do so. He catches the football. He runs the football. He kicks the football. High snap.
Had to catch that one.
He blocks as well. A line drive. Fielded at the 45. But how about the special? Scalaro again.
He's all over the field. One-on-one tackles, all over the field. Punt coverage. He's a gunner. Gets down there. That's a great tackle right there.
Look at this again. Oh, man.
Great
Talk
form.
about hunting.
Just great form. Just on a side note, Williams' last carry was actually a reception. That was a loss of 3.
So you're still tracking the record. I love it.
Of course I am.
This first.
Because it was a shovel.
Yes.
So that's actually a reception.
Scott slings it far sideline, incomplete. Raber, the intended target.
Maurice Scott's pass incomplete. 2nd and 10.
And you heard from Rob Sika, too. Listen, throw out the record for St. John the Baptist. We've watched them on film. They are who they've been in previous years. They are a difficult team to play. And like you said, if you can cut out some of those penalties and those self-inflicted wounds, they could be a dangerous team this postseason.
1,000%. They're the Raiders. They're the Raiders. They play on the edge. Sometimes they play over the edge. But if they play within themselves and in control, throw the record aside. They got weapons.
Incomplete pass.
Another incomplete pass. That time Scott tried to find Peters. And they will also then be the Road Warriors going forward as well.
They still have a championship pedigree.
Yes.
And that's something to be said. Next week,
3rd and 10.
you're not going to look at their record and say, 1-5, 1-6. What their record is next week is 0-0. And whoever they play, 0-0.
So let you know they with the second string line bowling with a whole new lineman.
Scott over the middle. That is complete to Peters. A first down and more. Kevin Peters caught from behind. A touchdown saving tackle by Justin Ramos.
First down and goal at the 9.
That's that speed. We've seen him return kicks. Ramos getting on his horse to make sure that's not a TD.
Watch his throw. Sets his feet. Doesn't even feel the pressure. He had a kid right in his face, and he just stayed in the pocket. Great throw. Great tackle.
Right at the ankle. Skoda spins toward the 5.
Yeah, he loves that spin move. Again, though, a little bobbled on the quarterback exchange again. Does throw the timing off just a little bit.
So Mo Scott trying to get his Cougars in the end zone again. Handoff, Lisbon. He hesitated, lost the football. Was he down, though? I think he was down, say the officials. Now, here's a question. Was he down and St. Peter's ball? Let's see the replay here. Lisbon cuts it to the outside.
That's a fumble and down.
And it is St. Peter's ball.
Yep.
James Joya.
That's just a strip right there. Great job. He was hoping that nobody was going to see him roll, where he could run that back for a good 90 yards. But a real nice job.
So what are we on Williams' watch? 8 yards again?
8 yards.
All right. 8 yards. The Williams tracker.
Yes.
Had the record. Went backwards. Now he chases the record again. Here he is. And they gang tackle him.
Jeremiah Williams with a 1-yard gain on the play.
He now needs 7.
2nd and 9.
Yeah, at what point is the record mean more or him getting out of this game healthy?
He is going to the sideline now.
You were playing defense.
So he'll not be in for this play at least.
Comes only from New Jersey to play.
And looks like it's Rob Sika's got his arm around them right now. And a hug between head coach and running back.
Yeah, I would think
Perhaps he's done for the day. Your backup running back is a different type of running back for St. Peter's. Gabe Muscalo, more of that bruiser. 5'10", 190. He'll go through you. Tough, hard runner. A guy willing to stick his face anywhere.
Yeah, he's also on the kick returner. Coach thinks he's a really, really tough kid. But like you said, he's a bruiser type, much different. He'll run over you more than jump cut like Williams does. It's a nice 1-2 punch. And this is the time where he's going to get a few carries and, get his confidence up and get himself ready for, obviously the playoffs and a little bit of next year.
Here's Aruda back in at QB. And a couple of yards at that before he is stopped. I think it was Zaire Grant among the tacklers.
Yard on the play, gain tackled by Zaire Grant.
And others.
It'll be 4th down
Yes.
and 5 for St. Peter's.
With 3:45 to go and the clock running, I would say that the game outcome is pretty much there. But what I do like is the fight right now from St. John's the Baptist. I just think that they're fighting, they're playing hard, they've cleaned up, what they had to clean up from the first half, and give a lot of credit right now to St. Peter's. I mean, they've played a great football game. They've made mistakes, but they seemed a lot more disciplined than St. John the Baptist tonight.
St. Peter's timeout gives us a chance to take a look at the season that has been for St. John the Baptist. Started with a loss to St. Francis Prep by 1. And then an emotional win on the road in Hicksville against Holy Trinity, 40-15. And then you have those AAA losses, right? You go back-to-back. Chaminade, Iona. You go to Fordham, you lose in double overtime. Win over Holy Cross, you bounce back from that. But then it's been 2 straight losses en route to a third now at St. Anthony's. 34-13, in which was a very physical, chippy type of game. C, homecoming. Homecoming games haven't gone well. Last year, homecoming was a loss to Lehigh, but then after that, they righted the ship. Max Bowers became the QB at that point, and they, from that loss, went on and won the AA1 championship.
It's all about the playoffs. It's not just necessarily what happens in the season. Sometimes in season you find out what you're made of, but it's the playoff times when you find out when champions are made.
A root of the kick. It's Rivera from his own 48-yard line, and look at who is looking at making the tackle, Jeremiah Williams.
Not a surprise. I mean,
Joe Rivera with the punt return.
offense, defense, special teams. We talked about how special of a player he is. You see it there.
So St. John the Baptist. Again, he speaks to a lot of the coaches in this league, and the thought is that these Eagles, they're the best team in AA1. St. Joe C has had an excellent season as well. You've got Moore Catholic, who's always a force to be reckoned with. St. Francis Prep having a great year. As Scott still in at QB, and out route finds Miller. But it's one of those years where it doesn't feel like there's that one team, right? Like if you go to the AAA, it's clear. Iona Prep is the team to beat. They've beaten all of the contenders to this point. But this one, it feels like it is wide open.
It's very wide open. On any given day, I can see any one of these teams beat each other. And I haven't seen all of them, but just what I'm seeing here today, this score 31-7 is not indicative of these two teams.
Scott
got him.
Has time, goes long, and that's a touchdown for Braden Mangan.
With the touchdown for the Cougars.
It's got to feel great for the senior from Brightwaters in his final game here at St. John the Baptist, at least final home game, to get a touchdown in that end zone.
What a great route. He just ran a little out and up, little wheel route, and a great ball. Corner bit on the out. Something to build on moving into next week.
Wesley Asorto out to kick the extra point.
So Asorto to kick. Snap and hold are good. The kick, though, is not. So Asorto unable to add another point to it. 31-13 the score, though, for St. Peter's. 2:33 left in the fourth quarter.
You know, like I said, when you're in the locker room coming out, you want to walk out of here saying one of two things. Don't let your foot off the gas, or, hey, let's get something positive. Well, I think right now you see, right now with St. John the Baptist, they are getting something positive out of this.
And if you're in that same locker room and you say, how do I book a sportscast? Here's how you do it. You can contact Varsity Media today and have us produce a sportscast for your team, which includes announcers, graphics, instant replay, and multiple camera angles. It's a memory your team will enjoy for a lifetime. You can call 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
And I don't know if I'm sounding biased, but I know Varsity Media's done a lot of some of our Massapequa games and some of my Floral Park games. And, you know, I have a 91-year-old mom who lives in Florida who watches all the games and says it's one of the most professional things that she's ever seen. She loves it.
And Mama Spina, that means the world to us, so thank you.
1,000%. That's what she lives for.
And we got to switch fields here, guys. This team goes that way. You guys go the other way. So it's like the line in Goodfellas, right? One dog goes this way, the other one goes the other way. The guy's like, what do you want from me?
There it is, little Joe Pesci.
Listen, you can quote at least what we can quote on the air from Goodfellas
Not much,
any day of the week.
The clean lines.
Yes. The ones that are on, like, when they show it on TBS or something.
Yes.
I haven't been able to use that one, though. You don't see teams crisscross like that. So the, one dog loses this way, like the painting, I haven't used that one.
No, it's
what I have quoted as that's an onside kick fielded by St. Peter's. I've gone Bronx tail a few times with the now you can't leave.
Okay.
That's always a good one.
Yes. Now, this is interesting because we get both rules now today on the onside or the kickoff. The one that is caught in air, that it has to bounce, and that one where he drilled the ball right into the turf and it bounced high. That's the other rule that has come into play in the last couple of years. It's illegal. Watch. He kicks it down so it goes high in the air. They used to be able to do that.
Right, but
then you would tattoo people catching the ball. So they've outlawed that now, so there's the penalty.
So we'll have another kick here. So, of course, we've got, and that one goes behind. So this has to be fielded, and it is by the Eagles. I like that decision, though. You've got players up. You put it behind. Maybe you win the foot race to get there. The Eagles do recover, though, with 2:23 left. And even though it's a different sport and a different, it's public school, we're hoping here that this one wraps up soon. We've got to head out to Farmingdale State College. We've got a Class B boys soccer championship game coming up tonight. And everyone here, except for Mike Spina, is going. So Becca Kazaks, myself, Kevin Catalanato, Ron Pierre.
I have some film to break down after last night.
Well, let's just hope. I didn't check the Southern State lately, but
never good.
Handoff, that goes to Aruda. And Aruda's got a blocker upfield in Diokane.
Nice job staying in bounds, keeping the clock rolling.
8-yard gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 2.
You know, it was nice on that last play. I mean, with all the chippiness that's been going on the whole game and the bantering going back and forth, you saw something really nice. Javon Bonilla actually picked him up. You know, he helped them up. They know the name. They know the score. They know what's happening right now. And that's what you want to see. The high school kids, the emotion runs high. Sometimes it runs too high. But I'm going to be honest. Whoever's playing St. John the Baptist next week, they're a dangerous team.
And you're not going to overlook these guys. And if you do, that's at your own peril.
And I will say the same thing for St. Peter's. That's a very good football team, and they're playing very well. They're playing at a high level. This is their 4th win in a row. So they got what they wanted. They wanted to come into this game, keep the momentum going. They're on a little bit of a roll right now. So
handoff. That went to Mascola. I think it was Skoda on the tackle.
Yes, it was. It was Skoda. I'm a little shocked that some of the starters are still in the game for both teams with under a minute to go and the clock running.
There's more players on this near sideline, but there's not a lot to choose from on the far sideline. The one starter who's not is pretty clear, right? As a first down run for Mascola. And that should be the final play of this one.
Yeah, you see the coaches already shaking hands. So if they're not shaking hands, it should be a victory formation. But it looks like they're going to start lining up at the 50.
So St. Peter's behind Jeremiah Williams. As advertised, led these Eagles to a road win. And St. Peter's, Mike, they are going into the postseason on a high, right? Some big wins in a row. They got the momentum heading into the postseason. St. John the Baptist does not. But like you said, you hit the reset button. It is a different season. It's called a different season for a reason.
Yes, it's everybody's 0-0.
And we will see you again
You can
soon.
throw your
We ask everybody to please
regular season
make
records
their way
away,
to the exits and drive home
seeds
safely.
away. Whoever plays the best next weekend is going to be the team that survives and advances.
Mike, it's been a pleasure. For our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer, Ben Turchin, technical director, Becca Kazaks, for Kevin Catalanato and Ron Pierre, bringing you all those great moving images. For my broadcast partner, Mike Spina, Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from St. John the Baptist High School. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Can I pull this plug out of our scoreboard?